You're listening to Off the Vine with Kaitlyn Bristowe.
Hey, Vinos, real quick, if you are listening right now, which obviously you are or you wouldn't be hearing this, can you hit the subscribe or follow button on whatever platform you're on? Please. That one simple thing helps more than you even realize. It allows me to keep growing on this podcast and making these episodes the best they can possibly be, obviously for you. That's the only favor I'm going to ever ask, okay? It truly means the world to me. Thank you. Now let's get into it. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Off the Vine. I'm your host, Kaitlyn Bristowe. Sydney, how great was Julianne Hough?
Oh, she was the best.
I don't know what it is about some people, but I was just staring into her soul the whole time, and I feel like she had very important things to say.
Yeah.
And you could tell she's just like been on this healing journey. She wrote a book. She's in Footloose. She was in Rock of Ages. She was one of the best dancers I've ever seen in my life. She was very public about, you know, her relationships, her divorce. She's kind of gone through a lot. I think it's interesting, too, to talk to people who grew up in such a Mormon community and certain religion to kind of figure out who they are later in life and maybe separate themselves from that. But I just love listening to her perspective on a lot of things. And I feel like her and I was like, friends.
Yeah,
we're friends.
100%.
You saw that, right?
I did see that.
I feel like everybody's going to like this one.
100%.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming and doing this.
Thank you.
I know
I'm
we've been
excited.
talking about it for a minute, trying to get you on. But
DMing each other constantly.
Yes.
I love it.
I've had Derek on a few times. Also, Maribeth is my realtor.
I know. I was going to bring that up. I love it. It's a family affair. We love it.
It's so funny. And I always tell Derek, I'm like, it is so bizarre to me how everyone in your family is beautiful on the inside and out and talented. I'm so confused.
Oh my gosh, you're so kind. Thank you.
But
we're
it's
like
crazy.
Yeah, but we got all other sets,
Of
sorts
course.
of mental health issues. No,
Well,
I'm just kidding.
that's every family ever. It's if you want to talk about it or not, because we all have it.
I know we do. No. Honestly, I'm so grateful. I have the best sisters, my mom, my dad, my brother. Even though it's like, blended family now.
Yeah.
I mean, we really lucked out, and we just love each other so much.
Yes.
And like, it's awesome.
You can just tell. And I just were your parents, I feel like Derek's told me this before, but I can't remember. Were your parents like
dancers?
Yes. And singers and all the things. Like,
it's like we were definitely born into it. Both grandparents on both sides were dancers. And then my mom and dad met on the ballroom dance team in college.
Cute.
And then, we basically were coming out of the womb cha-chaing. And fully.
That's incredible. I always say, I grew up dancing, but when I got to do Dancing with the Stars, I was like, wait, I thought ballroom would be, easy to pick up. Because I was like, well, I danced my whole life.
Yeah.
So hard.
It's like everything that you have about the freedom of expression in dance, you have to almost tighten it,
right,
and
while
perfect
still
it, and then find that expression too. It's the hardest thing.
I couldn't believe how hard it was, especially on the body.
Yeah, honestly, that's the best part about doing Dancing with the Stars is you're like, oh, I think I'm coming to do this dance show, and not realizing that football players, these extreme athletes are this is the hardest thing I've ever done for my body ever.
Right.
And you get snatched as a nice result, but not the actual goal, but you just get it, you know.
You can't help it when you're in the studio 8 hours a day.
Exactly.
And the show's long too.
It is long. Yeah, it is.
I remember I was getting there, I think I got there at the end of August and went home after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's long.
And you just love hosting it.
I do.
You're so good.
Thank you.
That was, I'm telling you, that was my dream job when I knew that Tyra was not going to be anymore.
Yeah.
And when they picked you, I went, now that makes sense.
Oh.
I was like, that I can handle that, because I was messaging Dina and Rob Mills, and I was like, hey, and then I saw you get it, and I was like, no, that's yes.
Thank you.
And you guys are so good, Alfonso, and your chemistry is so perfect.
You know what? I totally love that you're saying that, because there's been so many things that I've auditioned for, and I've been so heartbroken that I didn't get it. And then I'm like, oh, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for them.
Yes.
You know? And sometimes though, I'm like, that does not make sense. And I'm still heartbroken. It's not fair.
That is very
totally
real.
Should have got that.
That is real. That is real. That's how I was going to feel. So for this audition that I just did, if I didn't get it, I was going to be like, what? Because it went so
made
well.
So much sense too. Probably.
But I used to audition back. I lived in Vancouver for 11 years, and I used to audition for car commercials or dancing. Old Navy would be doing something. So for dance, and I'd always be like, I never got called back. ever. And I would come out of there being like, I nailed it. And then I'd never hear back. And I'm like, it really set me up for like the nose that I would take in life in the next decade. But
of course.
Yeah, it was really crazy.
Those no's are important, man.
They are important.
They're really important.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the girl, Sarah Blakesley, do you know who that is?
Of course I do. Oh my gosh. She's like mentor dream, and she doesn't know it.
Yes.
She's my mentor. She doesn't know it.
I look up to her so much. And she was saying that her dad at dinner, like they'd sit down as a family at dinner, and her dad would ask like her biggest failures of the week, and they'd talk about how important those are in life.
Totally. I mean, I'm on like an Inside Out kick right now because I just saw the second one.
Yes. Oh my God, I love Inside Out.
Isn't it
Sydney
so
loves
good?
it. Yeah.
I mean, I love
so good.
I know. Well,
I'm literally Riley. All my emotions are like that. That's just me.
I know.
Hormones.
I know, right? Well, by the way, I mean, I wish that I had that when I was a kid because, like, you could actually put a name to a feeling, you know?
Yes.
But no, I'm like such on that kick because I'm like, I love so much that they didn't make any one of those emotions like they were bad. It's they're all necessary. They're all there to like, do something for you.
Yes.
As long as one's not just like in control constantly.
Right. Yeah, they've all got to like change places and come in and out. It's so interesting because as an adult, I like seeing cartoon anything does weird things to my soul where I'm just like, I watch Moana immediately on crying. Repeat and like I'm like, oh my God, there's something about the nostalgia, but then there's a message and then it's just comforting. And Inside Out, I was like, I said the same thing. I wish I had something like that.
Well, it's funny. You see the memes now. I just got chills. It's like kids watching Inside Out, and they're like, "Oh, I love this." Adults watching Inside Out, I feel so seen.
It's true.
Yeah.
I remember trying to understand the feeling of anxiety as a child, and there was not the name anxiety for it. And I remember sitting with my mom on my bed and just having
to explain it.
Pure panic, and I couldn't breathe, and I was freaking out, and I didn't know if I was going to throw up or faint, and and it happened to me a lot. And I remember just being like, I'm sick, like I must be sick, and I'd go to the doctor all the time.
Wrong with me,
something's wrong, and I would convince myself that I was just like sick all the time. And now I look back, I'm like, oh my God, I had OCD and anxiety.
Yeah, totally.
And it would have been just so helpful.
And that charge just immediately goes.
Yes.
Yeah. Right?
Oh my gosh. My OCD I always liked things being even. So if my breath in was shorter than my breath out, I thought something was happening.
Yeah.
Well, and now literally me.
Well, I'm here to tell you something. I learned that that's actually like the proper way to breathe is I think like 5 counts in and 6 to 7 out, and that it should be that way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, if anyone could have just told me that.
Right.
And it's just interesting because as a fragile little human child, you're just like, you think everything is such a big deal.
Totally. It's so true. Yeah. Well, by the way, I know you have like a whole list of questions and everything, but like this is basically what my book is about.
Really?
It's Everything We Never Knew is the title because it's all these things that like are within us that like we've suppressed forever and we're just trying to figure out who we are. Yeah. And it's all within us. Yeah. We just need to like actually let it come out. So we'll get there, I'm sure.
Well, yes, but it's actually, that's a perfect segue because I am curious how to unpack it all because I do feel like there's so many things. I'm 39. I've been doing therapy since I was 26.
Yeah.
And I'm still learning. Like, I just had the biggest aha in my last therapy session of what she calls the window of tolerance, where if something happens to me, like, say, and it could be not a big deal. Like, I see something online that bothers me. I will immediately go into, like, this hyperactive, like, fight or flight, freak out. Emotions are bigger and stronger than me. I can't deal with it, and I panic. And then because I'm so overwhelmed by it, and then I realize 5 minutes later, like, it's not that big of a deal, and then I just drop into like the disassociating phase. But I never just take in something that hurts my feelings in the window of tolerance. And there's a whole chart for it, and just seeing it, I was like, oh my gosh. And I've just realized I've done Hoffman, I've done all this inner child work, I've done all these things, but I'm still unpacking so many things that have been buried down there.
Yeah. Well, and also, by the way, just even that, like, I remember hearing the word manic and like, you know, my mother has manic tendencies and has her and my entire life. But that word has such a negative connotation because it's like manic, bipolar, all this stuff. Yeah. Manic is just extremes. Yeah. Right? Going from one extreme to the other, and like to feel exhausted like that whiplash. Yep. that's just survival, And like we're so now, especially, I hate using this word because everybody does, but in society that we live in today, it is like everything is so extreme. So like we're literally whiplashing constantly, and then just like our bodies are so exhausted.
It's true.
And so we go from like hyper focus to like, I just want to sleep. I'm so tired.
While we're all trying to do so much at once, like for work and career and life and social media
all
and everything, it's like impossible to keep up with everything.
Well, I'm one of those people that I'm like, I have to protect my self-care so much because we do so much, right? And it's like, obviously my goal is to try to be a little bit more balanced so I don't have to go from like work to like, I'm on a retreat for 5 days of self-care.
And then your body gets sick because it's like forcing you to slow down.
But I mean, but that's been the last few years for me. I'm like, okay, how do I be less manic in my behaviors and my energy and just try to be a little bit more like this.
That is me right now. I'm trying so hard to find that balance, and I'm like, it's really become top of my priority list to do that, because usually it's been like, what's next? What am I doing for work? How much income is coming in? What is this? And now I'm like, okay, that's there. But more importantly, I am wearing myself out to like exhaustion beyond belief, and it's really affecting my mental health. And so is that kind of what inspired you to write the book? Was because you're like, wait, we're all going through this?
I think that, but also like, my childhood and my family and my history of how I left home at 9 to live with a Russian family to dance, and then to live in England, and everything was about achieving and success and competition and winning. And it was like, I mean, I thought energy was my superpower, and I was like, I just have so much energy. I can do this. And I didn't realize it was anxiety, And so yes, anxiety can be a really good thing sometimes. It can really like put you into focus mode. It can help you achieve things. But if that is your autopilot, oh my gosh. And so
relating.
It's exhausting. And so like, honestly, I remember sitting on the floor one day and being like, if I don't change my lifestyle, I'm going to get sick. Maybe not now, but down the road. Because my adrenals are shot. Like my cortisol is just way high. And I didn't even know what any of that was growing up. But now I've been like obviously trying to learn more. So that was like kind of the beginning, was just like, oh my gosh, I am on hyperdrive. And then I went through massive transformation with like kind of my whole world kind of unraveling when I started really going on this healing journey. And, I heard something the other day that was like, to evolve, you have to eliminate. And that's scary, because anytime you eliminate anything or change anything, it's loss. Which is then grief.
And we don't know how to process grief.
We don't know how to process grief. We don't know how to process loss.
Because we've just been taught like, okay, death.
More.
Death is loss. That's when you grieve. We aren't taught to grieve people, jobs,
environments, circumstances.
When it really is a loss that your body feels, and you get that trapped trauma in there that you don't know how to get out.
Totally.
So this is your book.
So it's my book. So basically, I've gone through so many different iterations of life, and a lot of people were like, you should write, an autobiography. And I was like, I'm not done yet. And and also there was like a bit of fear, to be honest. I used to be so open about everything in my life. And then it was like, oh, I'm just giving everybody ammo to have the narrative over me. And I was like, hang on, wait, I need to rein it back in. So I was like, how do I share the lessons and the universal themes that I've gone through? Loss, betrayal, abandonment, grief, like all these different things that I went through, but through a fiction lens. So that I can share all of these things, but it doesn't feel so scary for me to reveal all of my intimate details. But also for people who are also going on sort of like the beginning self-discovery journey, it can be a different way to experience it, so it doesn't feel so heavy or scary. It can be an adventure and a journey, and it can be fun. And I always say that. It's like, the fear of change versus the joy of transformation. And it's easier said than done.
Of course.
But that was really the goal with the book. So.
I feel like so many people could read it and take something away from it too. Like, it doesn't even have to be someone who's like just first starting to like go on their healing journey. It could be, because you never,
Or it could even activate it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I never even thought like that. Yeah.
Yes. And sometimes that's all you need is, I mean, the book's probably very validating to people.
Yeah.
To just, that's even why, like, sometimes, like, I'm so into tarot card reading just because of the validation that can come with it. And it just gives you a little sense of peace.
I'm so, whatever. You can call it woo-woo or you can just call it, I'm so woo-woo. Yeah. And, like, I feel like whatever you believe, like, if you have a belief in something, that's amazing. It could be the belief that you don't believe it. Right. But just believe it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So true.
And so it's like those tarot cards, you're going to read something and you're going to get whatever you need from it. Yeah. It doesn't mean that it's going to predict the future or whatever. But whatever you're going to take from it, you're going to take from it. And that's great. So this book is also about Saturn's return.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
I almost called it Saturn's return because it was everything that was happening in my life that was the unraveling was during that time period. Yeah. And I was like, what is this? And obviously for those listening, Saturn's return is when your birth chart, it's like when you were born, all the planets were aligned at the exact position, and it happens every 30 years or so. So when that happens, it's like you either choose to unpack the things that you've learned that have like created conditions and belief systems and stuff, or you unravel that and come back to your most authentic self.
Yes.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. So October 10th is World Mental Health Day, and this year BetterHelp is saying a huge thank you to the real MVPs, therapists. Just think about it. Behind millions of people taking steps forward on their mental health journeys, there's a therapist who showed up, asked the right questions, created a safe space, or helped celebrate a tiny win that actually changed everything. Now, I've had those moments myself where just talking it out with someone made me feel lighter, clearer, and honestly just less alone. And that is the power of therapy. It really doesn't have to be a giant breakthrough every session, even though those happen. Sometimes it's just knowing that you've got someone in your corner. BetterHelp has over 30,000 licensed therapists and has already helped more than 5 million people worldwide. That like makes me emotional. They match you with someone based on your needs, and if it's not a fit, you can switch anytime. Plus, it's all online, which makes starting just so much easier. So this World Mental Health Day, we're celebrating the therapists who have helped millions of people take a step forward. If you're ready to find the right therapist for you, BetterHelp can help you start that journey. Our listeners are going to get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Vine. That's betterhelp.com/Vine. Okay, Vinos, fall is officially here. Yoo-hoo! Vacations are winding down, the weather's cooling off, and it's cozy gale season. That's how I say girl. And you know what that means? I'm living in my Bombas. I'm not even joking, actually. These are hands down the most comfortable socks and slippers I've ever put on my little dogs, my feetsies. Here's why I'm obsessed. Bombas uses the softest, most dreamiest materials like merino wool that somehow just keeps you warm when it's chilly but cool when it's not. They've got these Sherpa-lined slippers that make leaving the house feel optional at best. And let me start you on their socks. I feel like I've talked about their socks so many times, and I truly mean it. As soon as I put them on, I feel like this was years ago. I instantly understood the hype. And the very best part, for every single item you buy, Bombas donates one to someone experiencing homelessness. Over 150 million items have already been donated, which is just incredible. Plus, they've got this happiness guarantee. So if you're not 100% in love, they will make it right. So Vinos, do yourself a favor. Head over to bombas.com/Vine and use code VINE for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/Vine, code VINE at checkout.
I'm 39 and I really feel like this year specifically, it's weird to me how much I'm trying to come back to myself of like not Kaitlyn who's on The Bachelorette, not Kaitlyn who did Dance with the Stars, not Kaitlyn on social media, like really who I am and want to be and the like legacy I want to live and like everything that like is true and authentic, because I'm like, I love having social media and I love having a platform. Yeah. And like you, I was always such an open book, and I'm starting to feel like I need to keep things more sacred to myself. Exactly like you said, because of the narrative that other people can write and say, and they always will if you have you know any sort of name or platform. And even just like getting into a next relationship, I'm like, I just want to keep it so sacred and private and not let people in. And I'm entering this new chapter, and I'm sure you're like aware of numerology with the 10-year cycle, and like I'm really in that because 29 is when I went on The Bachelor and when everything got crazy, and I'm like, it's so interesting and fascinating for me I'm like in the weirdest, stickiest place right now, but I'm like, I've never seen more light at the end of the tunnel ever in my life because I'm like, I see what I'm going through right now. I see what's happening and I know it's like icky and weird and I'm figuring it all out, but I'm like, I see the light. Yeah. And it's so exciting.
It is. It really is. And like, I don't know. I'm one of those people that just, I love complexity because it makes me feel like a full human and like other people's complexities and just a deep understanding. And when you're not connected to that within yourself, it's really hard to see other people and have that kind of empathy or compassion. And for the longest time, I was disconnected to myself. So I couldn't relate to other people. And then you just kind of adapt and mold into whatever people want you to be. And that's social media. You you create a caricature of what people want you to be.
It's all an illusion.
And then you're like, wait, I don't even know what. So the more I've like delayered, I lost a lot of followers because I wasn't the person that people discovered me as. And I've changed so much. And I'm so happy that I have. And I've come closer and closer to who I am. And by the way, it's never ending. So it's going to continue to shift and change. But then the other people are following because it's more connected. And again, eliminate when you evolve. And like, it's okay.
I literally am like at church right now because I truly have been thinking about this because, again, I try and like really think about what social media is to me. And of course, it's a business and it's like who I am, but I get wrapped up in like, oh my God, why is everyone unfollowing me and blah, blah. And it's because a woman even just said in a very nasty way about how I've changed. And I'm like, good. Because I like who I am better right now, who I've changed into. You might not like it because you might not be evolving yourself and that might scare you.
Totally.
But I have changed and I've lost followers and I did this 10-minute meditation, maybe 15-minute meditation around visualizing really awful, unaligned people exiting the scene. And that's the followers that I'm losing. And making space for the next chapter of my life to bring in new people. And it was like so powerful to just visualize that and be like, that doesn't matter. Because if you're truly working towards I'm cringed out by the like, let's try and go viral, let's try this. It doesn't feel authentic to me and I'm like, there's things that I want to do and of course I want to grow my social media, but I want to do it in a way that feels so right to me, that is like also inspiring other people to live like a more authentic life for themselves. And we're all just copying each other's shit on social media, which can be fun, of course, because there's funny things out there.
Of course.
But it makes you get lost in like, who am I and what am I doing
this for anyway? Well, there's this like knife's edge of like this way or that way, and it's like manifestation is amazing, right?
Yes.
But if I'm a master forced manifester, by the way, I can manifest crazy shit. Sorry, can I say shit?
Yeah, you can say whatever.
Like
same.
It's crazy. But that's all come from willpower, or not all of it, but a lot of it has come from willpower and desire versus like, is my energy in complete like expansion and sorry, now this is woo guys, but like
no, I love it.
Is it in complete like harmony and like in the right frequency that's not forced? And is it actually an allowed manifestation versus like pinpointing and forcing it? Because like that's been my biggest change is like, I don't even know technically what's best for me, but I can think I do and then get that thing and then realize, wait, I created that versus higher power or what you need really. You know?
That's my whole when I turned 39 recently, I was like, I'm gonna come up with a couple words that I really want to like think of daily, and it was surrender and magic. Like I just want to like surrender to what
the magic is.
Like I know that who I am is like, I just feel like I have magic inside of me and I feel like I want to share it with people, but I also want to keep it to myself, and I'm trying to, but I just have to like let go into like what feels right. Everything's just got to feel good.
Well, that's even when I do like vision boards and stuff, instead of visualizing what looks good, I really try to be like, what do I want to feel?
Me too.
When I design my house, in each room, I'm like, what do I want to feel in this room? What do I want to feel in this room? Like, feeling is, I think, the biggest key, because that changes your mindset. And then your mindset can obviously do a bunch for you.
I can't remember who came on my podcast, but it was going into the new year, so sometime around January. She totally flipped my perspective on what I wanted versus how I want to feel. And just even from January to June, focusing on that has done some pretty crazy things for me. And same thing, I bought a new house. I got out of a relationship. I bought a new car. And I've been looking for a house for 3 years, and I literally bought the house from your sister because of I walked in and how it made me feel, and I could see myself in it, and each room had a different feeling to me. And like even now, my friends who totally understand how like my brain works with energy and feeling and all of that kind of thing, they're like, this feels like your house.
Oh,
like,
I love that.
Yeah,
That's
and it's
awesome.
just, it's such a...
That's when you know.
Yeah.
When you're like, ugh, I can like drop into this versus like, it's good, right? It's good, right?
Yeah.
You like it, right?
That's exactly right. Yes. I wasn't like searching for, I was like, this is how I feel. It's how I want to feel. I did the same thing. I just did a vision board 3 months ago about how I want to feel and certain things. And already I'm like, I mean, it's happening.
I mean, by the way, what is it? Like all our parents want for us is to be happy.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, happy isn't a thing. Like, it's a feeling.
It's a feeling.
And so, like, I have this joke with my friend. Do you know Rihanna, the hairstylist?
Yes.
Okay, so Rihanna and I are always like sending people or sending each other like places to live outside of the U.S. Like, not because like we don't love the U.S. We love America, but the mindset is, again, beautiful in the fact that we're all dreamers and anything is possible. But then that also is very like isolating in the fact that it's all about I and what I want and dream big, but like what is the feeling that I want to feel every day? And like I am exhausted every day, or like I love that I'm capable of doing all these amazing things and I don't want to stop that, but that cannot be my driving force anymore. My feeling has to be my driving force.
I've been trying to work on this so much, and I went to, so there's this energy healer in Nashville that I love going to, and basically so my friend and I both go, and sometimes we'll just share little tidbits and pearls that he gives us. And my girlfriend was like, he said, because she's been feeling really anxious and I have anxious thoughts and I go very, very intrusive in the middle of the night, like really dark thoughts. And
I feel you.
Yeah. And they're like, think about, those things are all, anxiety and like intrusive thoughts are always going to happen. And then it's like, and we also have this beautiful thing, like notice like I'm having this nice conversation with you and we get to like connect over things that we both believe in, and the anxiety is still there and we can think about it later, and then we can focus on like the cuddling the dogs when I get home is one of my favorite feelings. It's like we have so many different feelings in a day.
Totally.
And happiness is in there at all times, and it's okay to not like just
have to be it all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Notice it's there. Yeah. It's there. It's going to be there. And also focus on what else is around you. I mean, that's obviously what gratitude is. And it's no joke that people write gratitude journals and feel better after a week of doing that. Like it is. It's about that.
It is.
So your book is, what do you mean it's fiction?
Okay. So basically, I was like, how do I tell my story without giving my personal details, names, etc., but tell it in a heightened supernatural way. And so I don't know if anybody knows my history over the last few years, but I started a company called Kinergy, and it's all based in the elements. It's meditation, it's movement, it's energy, it's everything that I connected to when I was going through this massive healing journey. And when I started that healing journey, it really unraveled everything that I put into place to protect me subconsciously. So when I got married, when I had an assistant that was my best friend, there were like my house and like my work and my dogs that I had, they represented safety and unconditional love. Like I had created all of this safety around me that was all external. And great, it was amazing and it helped me in that moment. But then once I actually decided I need to go on this healing journey, I can't find safety in anybody, any environment, my dogs even. I have to find that within myself. And I started going through that, and I went through a lot of child healing work. And as I went through that, I realized, wow, like I don't feel safe ever. And like I have completely shut that part off from me. And so as I was going through this healing journey, I was like, I want to tell this story. And again, I don't want to give details of my life. So I'm like, how do I say this without giving the book completely away? But basically it's about a woman.
Yeah.
And she has seemingly her life put together as perfectly as possible. Perfect husband, perfect job, perfect house, perfect environment, perfect friends, all these things. Literally what could go wrong. And then one night she is at a gala with like her real estate firm, and she's like the top seller always. She's about to go and get her award, and she sees somebody and she's like, I don't know if I know this person, but all of a sudden she's like, wait, there's like this big cloud of like dark gray. I don't know what's around him, but oh my gosh, all of a sudden I feel like I can't breathe and I'm like underwater. I'm tasting salt water, and like all of her senses start getting activated. And then she starts hearing screaming of like, save him. And it's this woman's voice. And she's like freaking out. She's thinking she's going crazy. And that's like the catalyst of she's having these supernatural experiences. Everybody around her thinks she's going crazy, but what's actually happening is she's opening to this new sense, spiritual sense. And of course, she thinks she has to go on this journey to help and save other people. And while she goes on her journey to cultivate these superpowers, she realizes, oh, I have to heal myself first. And so she goes through these different lessons, and each lesson that she goes through is through the lessons of the elements, earth, fire, water, air. And as she like really goes through these lessons, she starts healing herself. And there's just so many amazing, beautiful characters around her too, that we have mentors everywhere we go. We have friendships that like don't believe us and they need to leave, or that really support you. And you're like, wow, like I am so loved. And I didn't even realize that you were actually there all along. When these friends that I thought were there completely left. Because they didn't know how to handle me at the time of my grieving. So all of these themes are throughout the book, and the book is, I did it with Temple Hill, who they're the production company that does Twilight. And so like I'm like we got to make this into a TV show or a movie or something.
I could see that.
So like I really wanted it to feel supernatural, and so there's just like all these heightened things that are happening to her, and I will say I've had a few of those supernatural experiences, and had a lot of people be like, yo, she's lost the plot. Or like I did this energy work session and like it went viral.
Oh, I remember.
And and people are like,
do that.
people are like, what? She's like got demons and an exorcist coming out of her butthole or something like that. And like, of course, that was almost 5 years ago. And so now it's like so much more accessible. People understand what's happening. And energy is everything. Energy is literally everying. This table is literally energy. Like,
it's how
come
I
on,
try
you guys.
and think of everything too.
And so
I was there with you. I was like that. I've been like that for quite a while now. And I actually specifically remember when people are doing more energy work, I would specifically remember your video and thinking people are probably like, oh,
yeah,
that's real.
Totally. Well, and it has, like, I mean, you know, Gwyneth Paltrow, whatever you say about her, if she's woo-woo or whatever, I am so grateful for her because she probably took more flack from anybody out there because she was a pioneer. And when you're a pioneer in something and you have the courage and the guts to, like, put it out there, you will absolutely get, like, backlash. Completely. And so I give her so much,
I do too,
like, props. And she took a lot of hits for people that are trying to get that message out. You know? And so thank you, Gwyneth. We love you. GP.
She listens to this podcast. She totally does.
And so, but yeah, so she, you know, she was able to show through her, you know, episodes of her TV series, whether it was energy work or the sex therapist and all those things that were just like so informative and not taboo, and like permission to experience and see and learn so much wisdom that exists. And more so, obviously, in the Eastern culture than the Western, but we're blending, we're opening up.
That's I do see a bit of things happening in the world where people are starting to open up, and I've talked about this on my podcast so many times because I have this intuitive and spiritual coach that I work with all the time, and she always talks about how like the world has lived in their third chakra for so long, with like, which is like the top of the food chain, like dog eat dog, you work this and you you are working under the powerful man and you try and get there and the status and this.
Oh, yeah.
But we're like slowly moving into the heart chakra where we're like seeing the world differently and living more authentically and seeing the power and the success in just living through like a different lens of love. And I'm like, certain people are open to that and some people aren't, and you can totally see the difference in those people. I was with Arielle Vandenberg last night and we went to Nobu. We felt so fancy. And she's just so good. She's just one of those people to me too, where I'm just like, she's just a light and just a like good human and just thinks the same way that I do, and like so open to talking about like feelings and like how we were put in each other's lives for a reason. And it's just, I don't know, I just feel like you can, I always say light recognizes light. You can see it in certain people. And then there's just other people I even see on social media. Like I can see the darkness, even if they seem like they've got it all together. I can see, like you said, kind of in your book, like that dark cloud.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's so true. And again, like that's where I had to kind of step back a little bit and like, you know, unconscious biases and all sorts of things, which is like, oh my gosh, I can help. What is my motivation to help though? Is it because I actually just want to be loved? And maybe if I help, then I'll be loved. Like all those like psychological things that like I had to really realize. And so it's like sometimes I see that and I'm like, I want to help. I want to do this. Let me share. And then I'm like, hang on. Nobody's asking for this.
Because you got to pick and choose who.
Just be you.
Because you being you will help the right people.
It's a ripple effect.
Yes,
People will ask if they want to ask. I always say this too. It's like if you have information that you want to share, imagine that you are at a party and you're getting past, you know, food on a tray. Somebody's not going to just shove a cheeseburger down your throat. Right. They're going to give you a little sample and you'll taste it. And if you like it, you're going to ask for another one. Yeah. And you're going to come back. And I was like, oh my gosh, because I'm such that person that I'm like, if I have experience, I want everybody to know this. Oh my gosh, you have to know this. I have to share the beauty, all the things. Yeah. And I'm like, no, chill out. If they want it, they'll come back. They'll come back for more. Just bite sizes. That
was a big takeaway I did from Hoffman, where I really wanted to go back and like preach and like say what I learned and tell people. It was so
transformational for you. Of course, you want to share that.
And I was like floating out of that workshop, whatever you want to call it. And and they were like, don't be a pattern police. Don't point out people's patterns. Don't tell them what they need to do. Don't do this. Just be the light and live what you've learned. And people will want to be like, "What? How did you get there?" And what? And they'll ask. Yeah. And it's really, again, in the world that we live in with social media, you want to just like put it out there and say, "This is what I did, and look at how it's helped me, and you guys should do this and let me." And that's part of why I love having a podcast. Is it's more of like a real conversation that might touch somebody. It might awaken something in someone's brain. It might without being like, you guys should do this and do this.
Well, by the way, that just made me think. It's like I'm being collective. We want to share on social media, and here's my tips for this. So we're breeding a collective that is like turning into that, but then also that's feeding into people just following and not trusting what is good for them.
Exactly.
So it's like, oh man, like how do we just like shut it all off for a second and go in and try to like trust yourself and like have discernment about who and what I like. Yeah. I mean, talk about dating. Yeah. Like I was always in a relationship my whole life. Same. But I didn't even know if I really, this is later on. I was in love with everybody. Yeah. I love everybody. Yeah. I love friends that I just meet. Yeah. But I didn't even know if I actually liked them, because I loved the feeling so much of being loved that I didn't even have my own discernment or trust myself if I really liked their qualities. Yeah. I just wanted to be what they liked so that we could just make it work and have the best relationship ever.
Yes, which is all how we've been conditioned to be. And that's, I asked my coach
this. Do I even know if I like you? I don't know. No. I don't know if I like you.
No, I panic all the time over this stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I do. And I asked my coach that. I was like, how do we really go in and trust our own intuition, our own feelings, and know what we are like thinking, feeling acting like is right and real. And she was like, we've all had it in us since children, and we've been taught to suppress it and be this certain thing that it's like it's a whole journey of getting quiet with yourself over years. But like small micro shifts every day of just sitting, and she always makes me picture, like, eyes closed, picture myself in a throne, and invite my younger self in and my older self, and literally just listen to them. And all of a sudden I'm like, damn, you get it.
You know.
It's actually crazy. And like my older self always makes me laugh. She's like this old crazy lady, but she's so wise and funny. And then my younger self is just so sweet. And I like, it sounds crazy to people, but it actually helps me just go, oh, that's how I feel.
Alrighty, Rue, cooler days are here. Yes. Which means layers that actually last. And if you're anything like me, you want pieces that feel cozy, that look refined, and then they won't make you question your bank account. That's all I ask. That is why I love Quince. So we're talking premium denim that fits like an absolute dream, wool coats that look designer level but cost way less, and luxe everyday essentials that you'll honestly reach for over and over again. Because the quality is absolutely and totally worth it. It's like getting the fancy stuff, but without the fancy price tag. Quince partners directly with ethical top tier factories, and then they cut out the middlemen, which means that you get the luxury quality pieces for half the price of other brands. It's so smart. It's stylish, it's effortless, all of the above, yes. So some of my Quince pieces have already become my staples in my fall rotation, and it's quickly turning into my go-to shop for closet must-haves and cozy home essentials. Yeah, they have home essentials too. So find your fall staples at Quince. Go to quince.com/vine for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/vine to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Again, that's quince.com/vine. You guys, I keep saying it. I feel like there's a glitch in the matrix. How is time going by so fast? Holidays are almost here. I said it. And while I love all the cozy vibes, I also know how much prep goes into making your home holiday ready. Like, does your serveware need a refresh? Is your guest room a little sad, you know? Or maybe your kitchen could just use some serious help before the big dinner. And that is where Wayfair comes in. I say recently shopped. I'm literally on their site all the time. I recently shopped Wayfair for some holiday decor, and I'm always just so impressed. I found the cutest mini Christmas tree for my guest room. Doesn't that make that sound just so special? If you walk into a guest room at somebody's house, there's a little Christmas tree in there. Some cozy throw pillows for my living room, and even a few pieces that completely upgraded my entryway. And delivery is free, fast, and totally hassle-free. Honestly, it made getting ready for the season so much easier and just way less stressful. Wayfair has everything for every room and every style. Bedding, bath, basics, kids' rooms, furniture, holiday decor, cookware, seriously, all the things that make hosting and celebrating a little more magical. And the best part is you can do it all in one place, at any budget, and still feel like a total home styling pro. So if you're ready to get organized, refreshed, and ready for the holidays for way less, head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home.
Life is hard.
Life is hard.
It's like so, I mean, it's everything. There's so much, like, aging used to be a very scary thing to me. Now I'm like trying to be like, no, the alternative is scary to me. Aging is amazing. And like, it's all about just, like I said, those little shifts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but like, what is more rewarding than feeling like you went through something hard? You know, not that you have to make everything hard to get there in the end, because I've also done that. Like, oh, this needs to be a challenge so that I can get through this and feel good about myself. But like, it's pretty amazing. Life is hard, and like, there's absolutely no such thing as perfect. And so if you can find a way to go through things and like be like, man, I made that. Like, I made it through that, but also like, and during it, I was really sad, but I also like found joy, and I found like so much about myself that I ended up falling in love with, and like I'm so proud of. Yes. And like I've never been more proud of myself as a almost 36-year-old woman than I have in the last few years, and it has been the hardest chapter of my life.
36?
No, just meaning the last few years.
Yes.
And like, and I love myself so much, and like, I don't want to go through any more hard stuff in the interim, like, time, not in the immediate future, but like, I'm good for now. Thank you so much. But like, wow, like I really am I feel very safe within myself. I love myself. That's huge. And I'm like, I'm I'm content, which I used to hate that word.
Oh, yeah, because you think, oh, I must be boring or complacent if I'm content.
Yeah.
But no, that's a feeling I strive
Yeah.
for. Reflection is one of the best things, to just look at where you were and how far you've come and all the hardships you've gone through to get to where you are, and you wouldn't be content with all of those things that you've gone through. I always think about like people's most pivotal times in their life when they were like rock bottom and got out of it. And I'm like, I'll never forget mine. And people are like, don't say it again, Kaitlyn. I've talked about it way too many times. But like I hit a rock bottom point in my life that was so dark and so scary. And I never thought I'd come out of it. And it did take me a long time.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have everything, all the things that I wouldn't have gone on that show. I wouldn't have got this podcast. I wouldn't have gone on Dancing with the Stars. I wouldn't have gone on all these things without that rock bottom specifically.
Totally.
Do you have one in your mind that you're like, oh, that was my
I call it my death hole pit of shit era.
death hole pit of shit? Yes.
That was what it was.
Yes.
And did you ever see the series Made?
Yes.
Do you know when she's on the couch? I think it's like episode 4 or 5. She's like on the couch. She's super depressed. And all of a sudden it goes a little like, visual. And she's in this pit.
Yep.
And there's just like vines all over. And she's just laying there and she can't get out. I was like, that's the death hole pit of shit. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the visual representation of how I feel.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So it was like 4 or 5 years that I've been there. And obviously, slow progress. And I wanted it faster, but sometimes you just got to go with what you need.
Yeah.
And so the book actually came from, I wrote it in 2020 as I was going through my divorce right after my dogs died. And it was, I started a company, the pandemic happened. Like it was like all these expanding things happening, and then it was starting to unravel all the things. And then it kind of just like, I was in that zone. And I wrote this book in 2020, and then I couldn't even look at it for like 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, because I felt so out of alignment.
Yeah.
I was like, I wrote all of these things that I was experiencing when I was expanding.
Yep.
And then I was at my lowest point, and I was like, I don't feel congruent with what I wrote. I feel like a hypocrite. I don't feel like I can even share this because this is not how I feel right now. So I let it go, and I was never going to release this book. And then in 2023, I started in October 2023, I was like, I think I need to pick the book back up. And so I read it, and I was like, wait, this is really good.
Yeah.
And I'm in a different place now than I was when I even wrote this book. But I could look at it and be like, yeah, that was who I was 5 years ago or 4 years ago.
And so many lessons to be in there.
So many lessons.
And a sense of pride to see where you were, and like that you have changed, and that you are a different person. Like that could be looked at as, oh, that's so scary. I don't even want to read that. But then you can look at it with pride.
Oh, so much. Yeah. So much. And so I got back so technically I had a ghostwriter. And when we started writing, I was like, you know what? I was like, you're the one structuring this. You're writing the words. I was like, I know the concept. This is my lived experience. So yes, this is my vision. I was like, but you're writing it. So she's on the cover with me. Her name is Ellen Goodlett.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And so anyway, I talked to her, and I was like, can we shift a few things? Because now that I've been out of it a little, I have a little more perspective.
Right.
And so we shifted it, and then we were like, oh, I think it's time.
That's cool.
And I think because this is actually, I haven't talked about this. My whole life I've been a performer because that is, I don't know, like I can kind of, and I say this with the utmost humility, but like I can pick up an instrument and learn how to play it.
Yes.
I can,
you just got that in
dance, and I can learn how to dance. Or you teach me how to say a few lines in another language, I can do it. Like I can perform. I can put it on. And I've made my entire career out of performing. But I've never really connected to the artist inside of me. Like, what's going to come out of me?
Yeah.
Even when I had my music career, I sang other people's songs that wrote them. I connected to them, and then I performed them.
Right.
But I didn't write them.
Yeah.
And so with writing this book, this came out of me. Wow. I now, Kinergy came out of me, or Guided and came out of me. And then also I started writing music when I was this last year.
I love that.
And like I have all this music that goes with the book.
Oh, what cool.
And so I know I haven't talked about this yet. So you hearing it here first.
Yes.
But
wow,
yeah,
that is cool.
Yeah, so I wrote a song that goes with each one of the elemental lessons that she goes through. And I'm going to try to create some content, some visuals, because I realized I was like, everything that she goes through is her heightened senses. And I was like, that's what I want to experience. You can either read the book, you can listen to the audio, you can listen to the music that takes you through the journey, you can do a Kinergy class. All of it is the same experience of what this book is trying to say.
I got like misty-eyed. Like I literally got chills and misty-eyed because I'm like, there's a reason you went through what you went through. There's a reason you held on to it for so long. There's a reason you felt ready to share it. And then the reason was you have more to offer on top of what it already is that you went through, and like just music now to go with it.
Well,
that's
I got chills too, because
Yeah.
it's like, like we all have something creative to offer, and it could be that you're the most creative accountant on the planet, but like it doesn't matter what your creativity you have something that comes from you.
Yeah.
And again, I've been the performer, and like all of a sudden all this stuff is coming out of me, and it feels so vulnerable and so scary.
Yeah, of course.
Because this is my truth.
Yeah.
Versus I can hide behind the fact, well, I didn't do that.
Yeah, yeah.
I just was hired to do this.
Yeah.
And this really, truly has come from within.
Wow.
So I'm very excited.
You know when they say like you work towards something, like there's no destination to healing, but like you've arrived at a place where you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, and also and I'm being fully honest, I have moments where I'm like, yeah, I want to have a New York Times bestseller. Of course I do. That's amazing. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm also like, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
Because I actually followed through and finished. And like, I have a lot of projects that I've started and they've kind of like done this, but things that I've been hired for, of course I have to finish because you
got a job to do.
I got a job to do and I finish it, But things that I've created, I've kind of stopped.
Yeah.
And I haven't followed through and finished. And
feel that.
So this is more about like following through and finishing and feeling like, wow, like I did that.
Yeah.
And of course I want people to experience the book and the music and however they want to experience it. But I'm like, if it's just to get it out there,
you did it.
That's all I care about.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited.
That's really cool. That's such a unique way to do it too. To add. I'm like, that's something Derek would do, but I forget you guys are like related. Like in my brain, I was like,
cut from the same cloth.
You really are, but it's so cool, and I love watching. Like I love watching how your brains work because it's like so creative. I'm a creative person, but you're like on the next level of creative, and it's so cool and inspiring.
Oh,
to
thank you
see.
so much.
Yeah. So when does the book and the music and everything come out?
So August 13th is the release date of the book. And then music, because I'm still like doing it right now. Like I literally just finished the narration of the book on Friday last week. And then now I'm like going into the studio tomorrow to finish the vocals on another song. I have to finish one of the other songs and do the vocals on that one. And then mastering it and everything all before August 13th.
Holy, you got a busy July. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I have a few more questions.
Yeah, of course.
I had so many like little notes, but sometimes I just have them here for safety because I love just having real conversation. But there are certain questions that I did want to ask and people wanted to know as well. So, okay. Acting and music. Somebody wanted to know if you can share any memorable experiences from your time working on films like Footloose and Safe Haven.
Ooh, okay. So let's see. Do you want like positive stories or
anything? Like ones that people would be like, oh.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Footloose was amazing. That was my first like leading lady role.
That was really cool to watch.
And I remember I got that movie when Kenny Ortega was directing it. And so it was going to be like a full-blown musical. And so it was like, oh, that makes sense. Julianne got it. Music, dance, singing, blah, blah, blah. Then he was not going to do it anymore. And they hired a new director. And he did like Black Snake Moan, Hustle and Flow. Like he was this like really gritty director. And I remember the producers being like, we need to like scrap the cast and like start over. And I was like determined. I was like, wait a minute, no, like I know this character. Like this is my life. I have to do this. And I worked so hard and I and I fought for that role, and I was able to obviously get it.
Awesome.
And I remember we dyed my hair brown for the movie, and it completely transformed me because, you know, my blonde hair, especially my short hair, this is how I am the most recognizable and associated with Dancing with the Stars.
Yes.
And so anytime I try to do a film or anything, now, especially from Footloose, I try to change my hair because it transports me, but also the visual for people watching also to see me as something different than the association.
Yes.
So like that was amazing. I remember they like put freckles on me, and it was amazing.
You pulled it off too. I remember being like, of course.
But honestly, it was like summer camp. I mean, Miles Teller, that was like,
oh my God, I love him.
I know, and like his career blew up, and like just watching everybody's like. We were just kids at summer camp, basically. That was amazing. And Safe Haven, Josh Duhamel has been like one of my besties forever.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
He's so wonderful.
Yeah.
And I mean, those kids that were in it are all grown up now.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's wild. Like, it feels like that was a few years ago, and it was like over 10 years ago. It's wild.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
The time freaks me out.
Yeah.
And then somebody wanted to know, you mentioned that you're currently single. Is there anyone special you're dating right now?
I'm not dating any.
Amazing.
I'm not dating any one person.
You're dating.
You know what? And
I love that.
And I will say, it's so funny. I'm not the one that's like, and I'm super empowered. I'm dating all these guys. It's not about that, but it's about that discernment thing. It's like I never dated.
Yeah.
I never knew what I wanted to date or what I connected with, and so I have dated a lot in the last like 4 years, and I've given it time and like space, and I'm not jumping into like a full-blown relationship because I'm like, I want to actually get to know someone.
Yeah, God, that is exactly where I'm at right now.
And like, it's a hard thing to do because companionship feels great.
Yes.
Connection feels great. Intimacy feels great. And it's like, okay, but that's, and that would be fine.
Yeah.
And sometimes that happens.
Yes,
And that's
yes.
great. And other times I'm like, I don't want to build my life with you.
Yeah.
But you're an amazing person.
Yeah.
But I don't want to build a life with you.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I was like, you know, I'm going to put all these like parameters and these boundaries around it. I'm like, I'm, you know, I need to get deep really fast. I need to make sure that they're like spiritually connected and this connected. And I was like, okay, I just friend zoned every human on the planet because we got deep way too fast. And then they started feeling so safe and comfortable. Then like all of our sexual energy went out the window.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, let's keep some levity in here too. I forgot how to flirt. I was like, how do you like just play?
Yeah, yeah.
And have fun.
Yeah.
And so I've like brought a lot more of that back in, and I was like, we can still be playful and friend zone and, you know, deep and all these things. And so I definitely am like, I catch myself too just trying to put my best foot forward, and I'm like, no, I gotta put the other foot too.
Yeah,
Because like
that's a good point.
The shoe will drop at some point, and you need to see all of what exists here.
Yeah.
And I want to see all of what exists for you too.
Yeah.
And like again, I'm not scared of whatever insecurities or whatever traumas or wounds you have.
Right.
As long as you're like, you know, and you're owning them, and I will be your biggest cheerleader on the freaking planet.
Yeah.
But it's not my responsibility to either pull it out of you or
Right.
to give you mine.
Right.
Like that's my
I think
number
that's
one.
really important for people to know
Yeah.
going into relationships. I think that's such a big one. It's so funny because Sydney is 16 and she's had a boyfriend for 2 years, and
Yeah.
they're like, she's like, no, he's the one. And
Yeah.
we were talking about this last night. I'm like, you don't know that, and you need to go explore. And then I was like, well, I'm just pushing that on her because
I
that's
know.
what I think. And like,
I kind of have a philosophy though. Hear me out.
Okay.
I think it's the middle ground of like being kind of our age is, I think, hard to date. Whereas if you date early on, you're growing together.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're changing and you're shifting together kind of at this like early, you know, stage.
Yeah.
And so I actually think that's quite beautiful if you can have amazing communication and talk about it as you're going, knowing that you're like growing together and like you're actually building together.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're like later on, like 20s, 30s, like you've been kind of doing yourself for so long that like,
Oh, I know,
how
it's
do
hard
I
to let
integrate
somebody
with someone
in.
else in and this and that. So I always
true.
say, I'm like, am I just waiting for my husband to get divorced?
I know.
Because
I know.
I'm like, then that's the next stage, you know. Of
I
like,
know.
Oh, they've probably gone through stuff and they're like on their next season of like discovery.
I always say, I'm like, my next person will be be a divorcee who's been through some shit. Like,
has been in therapy for 4 years.
Yes, preferably 10. But
I know.
I'm just so, I'm such a, I was talking about this with Chriselle too one time about like the energy, like being attracted to energy. I think that was so not talked about before in life, where now it's like, it's so cool to open up your world to be like attracted to energy in people too. And I've
my gosh, you should see the different kinds of people I've dated.
Yeah.
Because none of them look like each other.
Yeah.
None of them act like each other.
Yeah.
But they all have this beautiful energy about them. And
Yes.
I'm like, I'm so attracted to energy.
Same.
Yeah.
I'm the exact same way.
How safe I feel with them,
Yeah.
how much fun and playfulness we can have together,
Yeah.
how how free we are, how secure within each other we are. Like, it's all about that. It's the feeling thing again.
It is.
Right?
It is, because we've been taught and seen in movies and all the things that we're taught. And I know you grew up Mormon, like things that you have been conditioned to think. And then once you free yourself from that to know, oh, wait, this actually feels good to me.
Totally.
It doesn't have to look like what other people told me it needs to look like. It's like, whoa.
And you know what's so funny? As we're talking, I'm like, well, duh. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so obvious. But it's like, no, like, this is like real stuff that like everybody struggles with.
Yeah.
And like, we get so kind of just glazed over, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, sometimes the easiest thing is actually the
How
simplest.
it makes you feel. I know. It's so hard, and I think that way for that generation too. Just like, I think they're going to see it differently, where you can be and feel and attracted to whoever you want, and like, for Sydney, it's like you feel so comfortable with Chance. You feel so safe with him. You guys are growing together, where you are growing together, where in many relationships I've grown apart from somebody, and and you know, I can't push my beliefs on my 16-year-old niece.
And by the way, what's to say also that like one relationship is supposed to be your path? You know what I mean? Like,
I know
at any
I
point,
was every relationship I've ever been through, I know I was supposed to go through. And I actually do believe the next one that I get into will, like, it's a feeling because of all the lessons I've learned from other relationships. Yeah. And I think that's cool.
No, I am beyond grateful. And like, I even say it in my acknowledgments in my book, like my marriage, I mean, with my ex-husband, it was an embarrassment of riches. It was beautiful. Yeah. And like, he's one of the best humans that I know.
That's great.
Yeah. He's got the greatest heart. And unfortunately, there were things that couldn't shift. And by ways we both were raised. And, you know, we've talked about it many times. We're like, man, we really regret that we couldn't figure this out. Yeah. But it is what it is now. And we've both moved on. Yep. And that chapter and that season of life is one of the ones that I will cherish more than any other in my life. Like,
that's so nice.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
and
it is.
So, not to say it wasn't hard.
Well, no, of course not.
And it wasn't, you know, but it was amazing.
Every season of life offers different lessons and opportunities to get to know yourself better. Yeah. And at the end of the day, that's all you can ask for. That's really cool. I've really enjoyed this conversation.
This was so lovely. I love it. Wait, let's get Ariel and let's hang out.
Yes.
I love
it. She's the best.
She really,
I love her so much.
Perfect?
Yeah. I met her for the first time yesterday.
Yeah. We had the best time.
Joy.
She is.
She's joy. I love her so much.
She makes me laugh. We have very similar senses of humor. And it's so funny because before I even knew her, the reason I started following her on Instagram was because somebody reached out to me and they're like, you remind me of Ariel, because I always do like these crazy things and voices. And I followed her. I was like, whoa. And then we both were like, wow, we were really supposed to be friends in this lifetime.
I love it.
Yeah, we should definitely get together.
Yeah, let's do a girls' night. Not always. I used to do these things, I don't know, 10 years ago when I first moved to LA, where I had like 3 really good girlfriends, and we would bring 5 people each.
Oh,
and
cool.
like we would, and different people every time, or however many we would want. And it started creating like a really good girlfriend group, and like introducing people, and because obviously it's hard to make friends anywhere you're at these days, and like where you feel like included and a sense of belonging. And so we used to do that all the time. And I was like, you know, one of the things that I haven't really done because I've been going back and forth between New York and LA, and I've been really focusing on my work and dating and stuff. I'm like, I haven't had a lot of consistency in my friendship. Like, friendship one-on-one, but like, I used to do bachelor nights at my house.
Did you really?
Oh my God. No,
Fun.
you don't understand. Like, I was obsessed. Yeah. And every season I would do bachelor nights at my house and I would theme it out every night or every week, and I would like cook. So I would be cute. A different themed of food every week. It started with 4 people. And by the end of the season, there'd be like 50 people. And then the next year, there'd be like 100 people at my house.
Way.
Oh, yeah. No, it was insane. And we had one rule.
What is it?
When you walk through the door for 2 hours, you're allowed to say anything you want to the TV. And the minute the show is done, then you have to go back to being really kind.
Wait, I love that. That's a good rule.
Because we had one person that was like, you guys are so bitchy. And I was like,
that's the rule.
It's the rule for this show. Yeah. And because we'll scream, what are you doing? Yeah. Come on.
Of course.
You know,
I do that. I know all of the like editor tricks and everything.
Or we'll
and
say
I
that.
still
We're like, oh, the producers are so bad. They just got them drunk for this purpose. No. You know, like, so yeah, so that was our rule. And what I realized, my whole point of this is that was so fun, and it was consistency of connection. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I want to do that. So we'll do like some more girls' nights.
Oh my gosh. When I come here all the time for podcasting, so I would love to do that. Do you still watch the show?
I haven't for a few seasons, but I'm like, maybe I need to get this, like, you know,
let's
weekly.
Get back into it.
Let's do it.
That'd be so fun. I'm so down for that. I love that. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Such a lovely conversation. And I feel like there's, like I said, certain people like Ariel, there's certain people that I follow or like see in life where I'm like, I feel like I get you.
Yeah, totally.
I feel like I get you. I don't know what it is. Yeah. It's just, like I said, there's just certain lights in the world where I go, I see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.